Exterior Mumbai streets, night. Yolanda, female African-American 20s, walks through the streets of Mumbai. She looks around in amazement. As she continues to walk, her jaw drops. She finds herself in front of the gateway of India.
Oh, I'm definitely snapping this.
Yolanda takes out a small camera. She then tries to take a selfie, but finds herself unable to. Aryan, male Indian, looks a lot like me, notices her as he walks past.
Hi, would you like me to take your picture?
Yolanda
Yeah,
turns.
sure. Thanks.
Aryan smiles as she hands him her camera. Yolanda smiles as she positions herself with the monument directly behind her. Aryan takes the picture. He hands the camera back to her.
So, you move here or just vacationing?
What makes you think I don't already live here?
Aryan freezes.
Oh, no, I meant nothing by it.
Yolanda smiles.
I'm just messing. Just passing through.
Aryan nods.
I know. It's time to come home.
Aryan suddenly produces a sword. He raises it and strikes it down. Yolanda is quick to deflect it with her own sword. Everyone around freezes, watching as the two duel. Thinking it's a show, people take out their cameras and begin to take pictures. Aryan lets his guard down for a moment, allowing Yolanda to sneak in a kick, knocking him backwards onto the ground. Suddenly, several ninjas materialize, as if out of thin air. Yolanda quickly sheathes her sword and runs for it. The ninjas give chase. Exterior, Mumbai streets, alleyway, night. Yolanda appears in an alleyway. She takes out a piece of paper and looks around.
It's got to be here somewhere.
Yolanda moves around feeling the air. The ninjas appear at the end of the alleyway. The two in front take out their own swords and slowly walk towards her. Yolanda slowly walks backwards.
You're either coming with us or...
The ninja standing frontmost angles his arm backwards, preparing to project his sword. Yolanda continues to walk backwards. The ninja then launches his sword towards her. Yolanda takes one more step backwards. Suddenly, she starts to dematerialize. Interior space station, arrival room. Yolanda materializes in a room. Several men stand there with weapons pointed at her. Suddenly, the sword appears and flies by her head, hitting the wall behind her. Yolanda throws her hands up.
I come in peace.
Interior space station, Captain Richard's office. Captain Richard, a male 50s handsome, sits behind his desk, dressed in a militaristic uniform. He sits at his computer typing away. His intercom beeps. Captain Richard reaches over towards it and presses the button.
Yes,
Agent Johnson is here?
please send him in.
After a couple moments, his door slides open. Think Star Trek. Agent Johnson, male 30s handsome, enters. Captain Richard stands up.
Agent Johnson, please come in.
Agent Johnson approaches the table. The two shake hands. Captain Richard then indicates Agent Johnson to have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Agent Johnson sits down.
I won't be here for long.
Agent Johnson reaches into his jacket and takes out a chip. He hands it to Captain Richard as he himself takes a seat. Captain Richard looks down at the chip. He looks up at Agent Johnson.
I found him.
Captain Richard looks at the chip. He then slips it into his device. A photograph of Jacob Richard, a male late 20s, the captain's son, appears. Captain Richard clicks on the picture and an article appears. Captain Richard looks up at Agent Johnson.
How did you find him?
Well, for starters, he goes under a different name now. Jacob Summers.
Captain Richard smiles, nodding.
Yes, he got it from Scott Summers, Cyclops, his favorite X-Men.
I was always a Wolverine man myself.
Nobody seems to go for the wise old man. What can you do?
If I may, sir, you're not that old.
Right. Not that old. Good work.
Captain Richard stands back up. Agent Johnson does so as well. The two shake hands before Agent Johnson leaves. Interior space station reception. Agent Johnson walks through the reception. He passes the secretary, male 20s metro. The two make eye contact before Agent Johnson leaves. Interior space station hallway. Agent Johnson steps out onto the hallway where several people walk past him in both directions. Black space with stars can be seen through the windows of the hallway. Exterior space station. Agent Johnson can be seen walking through the hallway as we get a shot of the space station. Interior, Jacob's studio apartment. Jacob lies asleep in bed. His apartment is a mess. There are clothes and fast food boxes all over the place. Jacob is the ultimate bachelor. There is a bracelet on the table by his head. It suddenly glows green. Jacob's eyes fly open. Exterior warehouse night. Several armed policemen are scattered outside the warehouse. They are led by Fishburne, male, 40s, African American. A bracelet can be seen on his wrist, also glowing green. Interior warehouse. Two groups of men face each other in a warehouse. Brock, male, 40s, leader of one of the men, looks around.
Secret meeting in the warehouse. How cliche.
The leader of the other men throws a case on the ground.
You chose that place?
Brock nods.
That I did.
Brock turns to one of his men and nods. Brock's right hand steps forward and grabs the case. He takes it over to the table nearby. He takes out a scanner and runs it across the surface. The scanner displays an X-ray of the contents inside stacks of money. The scanner begins to calculate the amount of money present. Brock's right hand looks up and nods. Brock smiles. He then turns to the gang leader.
I love it when a
Brock pauses.
drug deal goes smoothly.
Exterior warehouse night. Fishburne listens vigilantly.
Can I do Fishburne?
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Fishburne turns to the others.
Apprehend everyone inside.
Interior warehouse. The gang members look around as Fishburne and his men storm the place. Gunfire breaks out. Exterior street night. Jacob rushes through the street on his motorcycle. He looks at the bracelet now around his wrist. It serves as a GPS. Jacob takes a sharp left, cutting off traffic. Interior warehouse. Brock rushes up the stairs holding the briefcase as his men and the opposing gang exchange gunfire with the Fishburne's men. Fishburne shoots the other gang leader in the shoulder before spotting Brock. Fishburne dashes up the stairs. Interior warehouse, upstairs room. As Brock reaches for the door to the roof, Fishburne appears with his gun trained on him.
Don't move, asshole.
Brock turns with his hands raised in the air.
What was the plan here? Unless you have wings I don't know about, you're trapped.
Brock smiles.
I'm exactly where I need to be, as are you.
Fishburne keeps a steady grip on his weapon.
What the hell are you talking about?
The door can be heard opening. We see a pair of boots. Suddenly, gunshots can be heard. Exterior warehouse night. Jacob pulls up outside the warehouse. He takes off his helmet and flings it as he jumps off the bike. He rushes inside. Interior warehouse. Jacob rushes in to find Fishburne's men cornered by what's left of Brock's men, in addition to the other gang members. Jacob rushes to the closest gang member and puts him into a chokehold. Dropping his weapon, the gang member manages to get out of Jacob's grip. The two fight for a moment before Jacob knocks him out with a kick. He then grabs the gang member's weapon and begins to shoot the other gang members. Some of them turn and begin to open fire on him. Jacob puts a finger to his ear.
Night goggles, now!
Jacob then aims his weapon towards the breaker box in the corner and shoots it a few times. The lights go out as it's pitch black in there. Suddenly, infrared images pop up as we see the room through Jacob's point of view. Jacob then starts to aim his weapon at the different targets, all glowing red. Green figures appear, representing Fishburne's men. Pretty soon, Jacob and Fishburne's men take down all the gang members. Jacob takes off his mask and tosses it aside. He takes out a flashlight and flips it on. He turns to one of Fishburne's men.
Where's Fishburne at?
Fishburne's man points at the staircase. Jacob takes a couple of them with him and heads over to the staircase, holding the flashlight with one hand and his weapon with the other. They cautiously head up the staircase. As Jacob reaches the door, he slowly opens it. Interior warehouse, upstairs bedroom. Jacob and his men rush into the dark room. Jacob aims his flashlight around the room till it pauses on Fishburne seated on the floor, leaning against a wall. A pool of blood surrounds him. Interior police headquarters, chief's office. Jacob sits across the table from the police chief.
I told you. A couple of the officers, followed me into the upstairs room. I found Fishburne, the lieutenant.
Jacob closes his eyes as tears appear. The chief nods.
You doing down there?
Jacob opens his eyes, now red.
I see what's going on. You're not trying to make sure I'm okay. You're questioning me.
Fishburne made it clear that he didn't want you involved with tonight's activities.
Interior Police Headquarters locker room earlier. Jacob, having just finished working out, storms into the locker room. He reaches his locker and punches it hard.
Feel better?
Jacob turns to see Fishburne, also in workout attire, leaning against the locker.
You're making a big mistake.
Am I?
Fishburne takes off his shirt, revealing an impressive physique underneath. Jacob hides his admiration. Fishburne calmly wraps a towel around his waist as he slips out of his shorts. He then looks at Jacob.
I've been hunting Brock since before becoming a cop was even an idea in that thick skull of yours.
Fishburne heads towards the showers. He then pauses and turns.
You're just getting started. Be patient. Your time will come. You'll have a team of your own to lead, and no one will be prouder of you than me.
Fishburne then walks over to the showers. Jacob turns his back to his locker and sits down. Interior Police Headquarters, Chief's office. Jacob sits in front of the chief. He nods.
Yes. He didn't want one of my first assignments to be apprehending someone he spent practically half his career on nailing.
Can I ask again? Why were you at the warehouse?
Jacob looks at Chief. Interior Police Headquarters front desk. Jacob, now dressed, heads towards the door. The chief's assistant, female 20s pretty, sits at a desk. She sees Jacob.
Jacob.
Jacob turns.
I'm sorry. I meant Surgeon Summers.
Jacob smiles as he walks over.
Jacob is fine.
Chief's assistant holds a bracelet out towards Jacob.
Oh, is it my birthday?
The lieutenant asked me to give this to you.
Jacob frowns and takes it. Interior Jacob's studio apartment. Jacob sits on his bed in his messy studio apartment. He looks at the bracelet. He shakes his head.
Probably one of the fellows trying to call me a girl or something.
Jacob then flings the bracelet on the wall. Suddenly, a hologram of Fishburne appears.
What the?
Jacob, I don't have time to explain too much. Please trust me when I share the following with you.
Fishburne pauses as Jacob walks up closer to the hologram.
Tonight's raid is a setup. It has to be. My men and I are being sent in there to get slaughtered. If I could, I would have gotten them out of this as well. At least I know I could keep you out of this.
Fishburne looks at Jacob almost as if he knows where he's standing.
I meant what I said earlier. I'm proud of you. That's why I wanted to make sure you had this.
Fishburne points at the bracelet around his wrist.
I know I haven't talked about my son much, Micah. He lost his mother at such a young age. He grew up much too fast. Super smart kid. For a birthday present, he gave me this. It's something he invented, just like this hologram. Don't ask me how. He got his smarts from his mom. Anyways, as long as you wear yours, I can track where you are at all times. Never doubt ever that I have your back. Maybe one day you can meet my son and we can be one strange ass family.
Jacob smiles as tears start to appear in his eyes. Fishburne's hologram slowly disappears. Interior Police Headquarters, Chief's office. Chief looks at Jacob.
You expect me to believe any of that hoo-ha? I mean, there wasn't even anything on the lieutenant's wrist.
Jacob takes out the bracelet from his pocket and tosses it to Chief. Then he holds his own bracelet out.
I figured if he could track me, I could track him. It alerts me every time he goes from one place to another. Don't believe me? Just track my movements.
This should be in evidence.
Sure, put it in evidence. But first, hold on to it so that you know I'm not bullshitting you.
Chief looks at Jacob.
Sir.
Chief nods.
You can go.
Jacob nods and gets up. Interior hospital room. Fishburne lies on the bed, shirtless. Jacob sits by him.
Don't trust anyone,
Jacob nods.
even the chief.
Jacob shrugs.
That shouldn't be hard. I don't think he likes me.
Give him some time.
Jacob frowns.
If he doesn't turn out to be crooked.
Jacob and Fishburne laugh. Fishburne starts to cough. Jacob rushes to the door. Interior hospital hallway. The two hitmen dressed in dark clothes walk down the hallway. One of them looks around, seeing that it's empty. He then nods at the other. The second one opens the door to Fishburne's room. Interior hospital room. The two hitmen enter to find Fishburne lying dead.
Sorry. You're late.
Jacob appears from the bathroom. Hitman 1 points his gun at Jacob. Jacob quickly disarms him, knocking him against the wall. Hitman 2 points his own weapon at Jacob. Jacob rushes him, grabbing the hands holding the weapon. Several bullets fly. While keeping one grip on the weapon, Jacob puts his other hand into a fist and swings it at the hitman's face. Jacob manages to get the gun out of his hand. He then fires 2 shots at the first hitman, leaning down to pick up his own weapon. Jacob turns and fires 2 more shots at the second hitman. Several police officers run in. Jacob drops the gun on the floor.
Took you guys long enough.
Interior Police Headquarters gym. Dressed in a t-shirt and shorts, Jacob furiously punches the punching bag. Interior Police Headquarters locker room showers. Jacob, also displaying a very ripped physique, showers after his workout. Interior Police Headquarters Chief's office. Jacob, dressed, walks into the chief's office. A young man, Chris, male, blonde 20s, very handsome, sits in front of the chief.
You called me, sir?
Yes, this is your new partner.
Chris stands up and extends his hand.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Jacob looks at the hand for a moment. He then shakes it.
Jacob.
Exterior Police Headquarters parking lot day. Jacob and Chris leave the building and walk towards Jacob's car.
Sorry about what happened to your last partner. This can't be easy for you.
It comes with the job.
Jacob opens the door. Interior car. Jacob sits behind the wheel, driving in silence. Chris looks around.
I'm sorry, where are we going exactly?
I'm going to talk to Brock's associates.
Chris looks at him.
The lieutenant was killed during a raid on one of Brock's drug deals. Brock got away.
Killed him?
Jacob nods.
Yeah.
We're gonna nail that son of a bitch.
Jacob looks at him. He then turns back to the road. Interior club lounge area. Tosh, male, 40s heavyset, sits in between 2 girls in a lounge. Other girls can be seen on stage dancing to music. One of Tosh's men leads Jacob and Chris towards him.
Cops!
Tosh nods.
I've got this.
Tosh's man leads. Tosh looks at Jacob and Chris.
Gentlemen, can I get you something to drink?
We're on duty, so no.
Yeah, I'll take a bud.
Well, I'm afraid we don't carry those.
Tosh looks around at the place.
We're a little too classy at that.
Jacob looks up at one of the girls dancing on stage. He flashes her a smile.
Yeah, this place is real classy.
Jacob turns back to Tosh.
Where's Brock?
Okay, straight to business. IDK.
Chris leans in towards Jacob.
It means?
I know what it means.
Jacob turns back to Tosh.
You don't know where he is.
Tosh
No
shrugs.
clue.
Jacob looks at Tosh.
What are you drinking? Mind if I try some?
Jacob leans forward and picks up Tosh's drink. Chris looks at him. Jacob slowly brings the glass to his mouth. He takes a sip. He makes a disgusted face.
You call this a drink? What is this? 2 Jack and a Coke?
Jacob then pours the drink over the table. Tosh doesn't look scared. Chris begins to panic.
Ladies, if you want to quickly step out.
The girls on either side of Tosh quickly get up and leave. Jacob looks at Tosh as he takes out a lighter.
You don't believe me?
Jacob lights it.
Okay, take it easy. All I know is he's lying low somewhere, waiting for things to cool off.
Good. You tell him to stay there. And as soon as he makes a move, I'll come back.
Jacob looks at Chris and nods. Jacob and Chris begin to walk out. Tosh relaxes. He turns to the girls on the stage who have paused.
What the hell are you looking at? I don't pay you to just stand there.
Tosh gets up out of the booth. Suddenly, Jacob reappears. He flicks the lighter close to the liquid. A huge fire erupts over the table. Tosh grabs some water and starts throwing it at the flames. His men appear to help. Jacob looks at the girls on stage.
You girls know the number to the fire department?
They nod.
Cool.
Jacob leaves. To be continued.
All right, guys, good job, good job. Nice job. Thanks for being here. This is awesome. So this is the discussion portion, and we have the writer here. So this should be interesting with a big crowd, 9 people. So let's get whoever would like to start it off. Open floor.
Yeah, I mean, I like the flow of the dialogue. It was pretty action-packed. You know, I was kind of on the edge of my seat. There were moments where I was laughing. There were moments where I was like, oh, what's going to happen next?
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It was just like my first impression.
No, I appreciate that. I'm working on another draft right now, so I do appreciate it's already got some strengths and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I loved how there was a really good arc where we could kind of follow the plot line and, couldn't guess what was coming next. So that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I also like that it started like in suspense, kind of like that, just like it starts really regular and then quickly all this action happens, which was really
Right. Sweet. Okay.
captivating.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like how like there's enough balance between action and dialogue. Like it's not just an entire script of action and you're like, okay, but what are we looking at? There's no plot. But there's like a good balance where you're engaged and you see it in your head as you're reading it. But there's also enough backstory and dialogue for the story to make sense, in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I was scared that maybe the action might be clunky or something. So cool.
Nice pace and flow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that a lot. Awesome. Yeah, and then thank you, Randy, for organizing this. I really appreciate it. It's cool to you work really hard on these scripts, and it's gonna be a while before any of them really get produced. So it's like the closest thing to see it come to life. So I appreciate all of you guys like playing your parts and stuff really well. I think everyone was excellent. Somebody's face I couldn't see, but I could still feel the performance and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so everyone really brought it.
I wasn't gonna mention that, but yeah.
No, it's cool though. It's cool. I
Yeah.
pictured it myself. Like, I'm like, okay, what's whatever character I can, picture in that thing. So I was just paying attention to the performance and not like to what I was seeing or whatever. So cool.
Yeah, I
cool.
agree. That the voice, that was good. Good. I believe it was the chief. So yeah, I felt that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. So cool. Well, we probably have a couple of East Coast people here, huh? So we probably want to.
Yeah, a few.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, remind me of
Oh, go
Lethal
ahead.
Weapon meets Star Wars. It's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it was like Lethal Weapon meets Star Wars in some parts because like the holograms and.
Yeah, the hologram. I was gonna say. I was like, oh wow, it's like the Obi-Wan like hologram. I was like,
oh,
wow.
you guys are hitting me.
You're my
here.
only
Star
hope.
Wars is my favorite thing ever, and it's
Yes.
probably a huge influence for sure. So yeah, I'm glad you guys caught that and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see where we go with this.
Right. Is it
Here
set
we
in the future?
go.
I'm sorry.
Is it set in the future or is it like present day with or near future?
I think near future, where it's
Okay.
like there's technology, but like the regular people don't know about it. Like,
Yeah.
only a few people know about it. So yeah, maybe 5-10 years in the future. I mean, ideally.
Cool. Yeah.
In this
All right.
world.
Nice. I like those.
And any more questions for the writer?
Not a question, but I enjoyed the back and forth for most of the time between like the present plot and then the like what happened in the past.
Okay.
I thought it did a good job of bringing up questions that like seem confusing at first, but then like they're continuously being answered, and clearly more are going to be answered as it moves along. So I
Yes.
enjoyed that.
I was able to follow that. And yes, I think that's what I was going for. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's a lot of time jumps. I'm like, let's be careful on how often we do it, or if it's effective enough to do it in the first place. So cool. No,
Yeah.
I thought the time jumps were clear.
Okay, sweet.
I know that can be tricky with writers, because I've heard that before. Like, is it too much? Am I overdoing it? So yeah.
I think it
What's
should
that
just serve a
time?
purpose, and it shouldn't be like
Yeah.
common thing, like that's. So.
Any other thoughts and questions coming to mind for you guys?
Nope.
No.
You have any extra roles open?
Yeah, what was
I'm
that?
sorry.
Any extra roles open? Like any background roles open?
I mean, at some point, sure.
Yeah, street people and stuff. Yeah, we got you. You number one on the list.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, always. So cool. It's a quick question before we call it a night. Is most people more or less from LA? Because I heard somebody's from New York, someone's from Georgia. So Tristan, you're in LA? Okay.
Yeah, I'm New York.
Oh, you're in New York as well. You're in New York.
I think
Georgia.
mostly everybody's on the East Coast.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
in Florida. I'm in like the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Right. Okay. I was just asking because I live in LA, so I can connect with some of you guys. If you're ever in LA, though, hit me up. And stay in touch through Randy and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna be there in October, so we'll definitely.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Hopefully, we'll have a few more
Cool.
table reads of these until then.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I think if that's all the thoughts. Yeah. For my closing thoughts. Yeah. Like I mentioned to most of you that I've been doing this for a while. For the last 2 years, I've been doing it weekly. But now this year I'll be doing it like once a month, maybe twice a month. This is the first episode, so this is the second episode. And if you're interested in doing it again, just send me an email. And that is about it. You guys are welcome to ask me any questions about my experience. But, yeah, this has been good. Thanks for coming in. For those two people that came in at the very last second, sorry, not yeah. Thanks
So,
for being.
do you do like work in TV and film, or is it like?
Hold on. If that's it about this script, then I'm gonna turn this thing off.
Yeah. Sorry.